empty, waiting, anticipating. Summer is finally here! Camp. Webster's definition is a body or group of persons in camp to engage or promote a doctrine or position. What is your definition of camp?
Camp, where I finally connected and felt the power of God's family.
Camp, where I was set free.
Camp, where I loved to cabin and camper hop for games and fellowship.
Camp, my favorite part of the summer.
Camp, where I see so many fellow believers in one accord.
Camp, where God got a hold of me.
Camp, where I was sanctified.
Camp, where I committed to abstinence.
Camp is where I found my husband when I was in 7th grade.
Camp, where I was challenged to be a better husband and spiritual leader.
For over 100 years, God has been moving and changing people's lives through ministries at Fairmount Wesleyan Camp. Just as we have stories that tell about our lives, there are stories that tell about this camp. Listen to just some of the stories from the past and the present.
The worship was so charged. It's always very intimate and very commutative. There's a lot of people involved in it, and it makes you feel so much closer to God at that moment. And that's one of the things that when I went to camp this last year, I remember feeling like I'm home now, and this feeling was something I'd really missed.
I was talking to a pastor's wife recently who said that Fairmount Camp is where we found the roots of our soul. And in the memories of all the wonderful camp meeting services, that is so true for so many.
One thing I really enjoy about family camp is getting to know people better and enjoying having time with friends.
This was my first year going to junior high camp, and I loved it. I'm glad that I could have fun there and also learn so much about Christ and compare it to my life and be with so many other Christians my own age. It was amazing.
My wife and I have been going to Fairmount Camp for approximately 48 years. We have raised all of our kids going to camp.
Just the way God meets us there. And then He doesn't just meet us, He challenges us for when we go home.
Growing up at Fairmount campgrounds, oh my goodness, the memories. I remember working as a bellhop during family camp days when I was 17 and 18 years old. I remember working as a camp counselor, spending time with my friends, chasing boys, basically growing up. And what a great place to grow up.
I grew up going to camp, and I'm really thrilled with the fact that my full 5 children have had the opportunity to attend Fairmount Camp, and that they all enjoy it, and it's a highlight of their summer. And it's an environment where they can go and have fun, and I don't have to worry about safety, but they can just be on their own and have a good time with their friends.
I like to ride bikes, play on the play set, and play with my friends.
I've been going to Fairmount Camp since 1936. And it's been a great, great privilege to watch the camp through the years and to hear some of the greatest preachers that we know about in the Wesleyan Church and several outside the church.
Fascinating things happen at camp meeting. One year at Fairmount Camp, Reverend Henry Leeler was thundering from the platform. And it came up a sudden thunderstorm, lightning, thunder, lights went out, kids were screaming. It was awful. It was black. They were putting the flaps down. And the evangelist was preaching on the subject, when the light goes out in your soul. And as soon as the lights came back on, his mouth was right down at the pulpit at the microphone, and he said, "What if that had been the light in your soul?" 200 people came to the altar that night. It was wonderful.
The fields are white unto harvest. We believe that God has given us a new vision to use these dedicated grounds all year long to expand our ministries and partnerships in Indiana North community.
God is good.
All the time.
And all the time,
God is good.
God has given us our heritage in order for us to continue into the future. Fairmount Wesleyan Camp. The past, the present, and the future.